This episode is brought to you today by Whitehall Mortgage, where there's a will, there's a Whitehall. Buying a home starts by getting a pre-approval, and nobody does it better than Doug in Dallas. Call them today at 570-562-7505 or apply online at whitehallmortgagefinancial.com. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Wychak. I'm the host of the Real Estate Right Now podcast, and today I've got a great episode for you, and it has to do with real estate investing. Real estate investing is a really popular topic right now, especially what we have when we see what's going on in the stock market and so on and so forth. But real estate investing is just one of those things where if you look for real estate investing content, it talks about the winners all the time. It's the winners telling you how they've won. And it's easy to say once you've acquired, thousands of units that, it's easy, just follow my plan. And well, I don't necessarily know if that's true. But today what I wanted to talk about is not necessarily all the wins that come with real estate investing, but I want to talk about the 7 biggest regrets or maybe the 7 deadly sins of real estate investing, because it can be very lucrative if you do it right, but it can absolutely be a punch to the stomach if you get it wrong. So I want to talk about some of the things that real estate investors that I talk to, and even myself, look, because at one point in time, we owned quite a few units personally. I think you need to know the pitfalls, and I think it's good to know if you talk to other realtors that do investing or just people in general do investing, what do they regret? What are the mistakes that they thought they make? One of the biggest regrets of real estate investors is that they underestimate maintenance and repair costs. It's so true, right? Because people will always say, and I talk to people all the time where we're showing them houses that they want to buy as an investment property, and they're going like, well, we could redo the kitchen and we can redo the bathroom and we could put a roof on it. And it's like, yeah, you're 100% correct. You can do all those things. Do you have the money to do it? Do you know how much it's going to cost? Are you prepared to pay that much money to do those things, to make those upgrades? Because I think a lot of times people think that things are more affordable than they really are, especially if you plan on hiring someone to do the work for you. I live in a small town, and it used to be like, well, I've got a buddy who if I buy him a few pizzas and some beers, he'll come over and redo the kitchen. It's like, well, yeah, those days are gone, right? Like those workers aren't out there anymore. So underestimating maintenance and repair costs is a big regret. Another one, and this is a huge one, buying in a poor location. We don't do property management at my company now. I just don't think it's worth it here in northeastern Pennsylvania. But because of where we're located, we get many investors from New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, some big cities that are a short drive to our area. And one thing I hated in property management, these guys would buy houses in the worst parts of the city that we live in, and then they would wonder how come you can't get them a premium tenant. And you're like, look, in that part of the town, like, we're hoping that we get a drug dealer who's willing to pay in cash. Like, that's the goal. Because a normal, a family of 4 isn't going to rent in that area. You have to know the location you're buying in, and buying in a bad location is an absolute nightmare when it comes to real estate investing. Another big thing to consider, not screening your tenants thoroughly. A huge regret for people who invest in real estate. I talk about this all the time. I say, if you plan on buying a fix and flip, you don't make money when you sell the house. You make money when you buy the house. You have to buy it at the right price in order to make money on a flip. Well, it's similar when it comes to tenants and real estate investing. You make money by selecting the right kind of tenants. It's huge, all right? Because so much money is lost on turnover, and so much money is lost on evictions and the damages that bad tenants do. So make sure you don't fall into the trap of not screening your tenants thoroughly. Another thing too, people try to self-manage these properties. Some people do an amazing job at that. Others should not do it. If you're someone who thinks everybody deserves a second chance, maybe that's true, but maybe it's not in one of your apartments, okay? If you're not prepared to kind of take a really tough stand, self-managing might not be the right thing for you. If you don't have the time to self-manage, it's definitely not the right thing for you, because you don't want to start getting those letters in the mail that say, if you don't cut the grass by tomorrow, we're going to give you a $300 fine. So self-managing isn't for everyone. You need to be honest with yourself if you have the willingness and the ability to do that. The fifth thing kind of piggybacks on the back of that, and it's ignoring property management costs. When it comes to selecting a property management company, it's like many things in life. You get what you pay for. The best property management company out there might not be the cheapest property management company out there. So I think if you're going to select a property management company, take time to find someone who's great and expect to pay somewhere between 8 and 12%. Now, look, if you're in a short-term rental area, it might be higher than that. But it's absolutely worth having a great property management company. Just make sure you don't ignore the cost when it comes to figuring out what your cash flow is going to be, or I think you're going to be really disappointed. Another big regret for real estate investors, and it's a popular thing, skipping the home inspections, especially our cash buyers. So many cash buyers say, oh, well, we'll pay cash and we'll waive inspections because you want to make your offer as good as it can be. I understand the thought behind that, but man, skipping a home inspection can be really dangerous, especially for rookie investors, okay? If you're someone that has a great amount of experience and you feel confident that you know what you're looking for and you've got the money to make a repair that maybe is unexpected, it's still risky, but I understand why you would skip a home inspection. But for the rookie investors out there who are just getting started, spend $600 on a home inspection, all right? It could save you tens of thousands of dollars in repairs that you don't even see. So I think it's a huge regret when people buy a house and then they get started on the work and they go, oh my gosh, Dave, I thought it was going to cost me 10 grand to renovate this place. It was closer to 30. And, there goes a couple years worth of profits right there. And the seventh and final thing that I think real estate investors regret is they assume that they're going to have constant occupancy. A huge mistake. You have to account for vacancy when you're running your numbers, when you're figuring out cash flow. Now, ideally, you'd like to find great tenants that stay for a long time, or you'd like to figure that if you have a short-term rental at a beach community, that you're going to be busy from spring and summer and into the fall. But you can't just assume constant occupancy. If you don't account for some level of vacancy, I think what you're going to see is that your projections, what you actually make, it's going to come in short. All right. So you have to anticipate some type of vacancy, whether it be due to eviction, taking the time to find the right tenant, or in a short-term rental area. Look, the ebbs and flows of the market itself, right? Sometimes people cut back on vacations if the economy's not doing quite as well as they think it should be. So those, I think, are 7 of the biggest regrets that real estate investors have. It's the things that I hear most often when I talk to real estate investors. And to be honest with you, it's some of the regrets that I had myself when I was buying rental properties. So take these things into account. I think you can do really well with investing in real estate. It's not for everyone, but I think the biggest key, if you want to be successful, is not only look at people telling you all the success stories, but understand the pitfalls that you'll see along the way. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychak at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.